are into the early games on Sunday afternoon.
Gotcha.
This is so interesting to me. The 49ers, who we've been liking, they've been a bet-on team for us, are visiting the Cowboys. The Cowboys 3.5-point favorites on DraftKings right now. I feel like the 49ers have crested. I feel like we've ridden the 49ers wave, and they're no longer the team that you want to be betting on.
Yeah, and we talked last week with Denver, Washington. We like both those teams, and we leaned Washington just because it was 3.5. We thought that was a good number. But I said I just like the under, and that came through. That was an easy bet, the under in that game. So we're this week, the 49ers, they're one of these teams where are we sure they're 3 points better than the Cowboys? And everyone's going to be betting on the 49ers. Like you just said, this is one of those where the public's going to come in on the 49ers, and we have to be on the other side of this because this is a too big of a number for the Cowboys to be laying at home. And 3, it's great. I did like it was at 3.5. That was a really nice number. But 3, I'm still happy to take that with the Cowboys. And this is one of those where I'm not going to fight you on it if you don't want to put it in, but I would probably put it in the contest.
Seriously?
Yeah, just because the more I think about it, it just feels like a really smart number where just everyone's coming in on the 49ers because they haven't given up on them yet. But it just seems like it's too many points for them to be laying on the road.
Dude, it's week 15 that we're talking about here. We've got 2 weeks left to make a run, and it feels like you are going all in on week 15 right now. You are lining us up on the Broncos. So far, you have lined us up on the Broncos, the Panthers, and the Cowboys. Like, oh my God, I'm sick to my stomach. I almost need like Matt Mitchell while we are doing this. If Matt Mitchell could look up the against the spread records for the Broncos, the Panthers, and the Cowboys, just to know what we are getting ourselves into. Because obviously we've got a huge schedule, a huge slate still to go through. And right now you've got me convinced, like these are amazing sharp side bets. Like we got to talk about the Bears, the resurgent. We don't know how to tank. We're not going to win enough to make the playoffs, but we don't know how to tank to get a good draft pick, Chicago Bears. 3-point underdogs on the road at the Minnesota Vikings. And Mitch Trubisky, Matt Nagy just had the greatest game they're ever going to have. We took the Bears last week. It was one of our wins. That's it for me. I want no part of them.
I like that you changed your tune. Chad loves this number deep down. He loves that it's 3.5. He thinks the Bears are just as good as the Vikings. He likes this number a lot. On the other side, I hate this. I think this is all Minnesota. This is a classic trap game where Minnesota just lost an insane game where their kicker couldn't make anything. They just completely melted down against the Bucs. And like you just said, the Bears just had their game of the year. They won on every facet of the game last week. They won special teams, defense, and offense. They just dominated Houston. And we know the Bears aren't good. So I think they're sucking people in with this 3.5. They're trying to get Bears money. But the smart side is going to be Minnesota. I love this pick. So I hate for you to put Minnesota against your own team, but it's one of those sides I wouldn't mind having the contest.
All right, two things. Number one, the number is 3, not 3.5. Number two, let me give you some against the spread records. Dallas 3-10. Denver 8-5, Carolina 7-6. So we're smart with Denver and Carolina. We are like bettors. No, we're bettors with Denver and Carolina. We are gamblers with Dallas. That's what we are. I'm just saying. By the way, Minnesota at 3. Is this a hornet's nest? Are we walking into a hornet's nest?
I'll walk into Hornets this week on this one. I love Minnesota.
You love Minnesota, even at 3.
Yeah, I mean that's even better. It depends on what book you're looking at. Like I'm looking at 2 different books right now, but I have 3.5 still for the Bears. But yeah, 3 it's even better. It's gonna be a public bet, I'm sure, because a lot of people aren't gonna be backing the Bears. But this lines up as a situational play.
You are my companion, as they say We are going to walk into this hornet's nest together, and it will be such rich justice for me if we end up winning a game and getting closer to winning this contest by betting against the Chicago Bears. Right now, we basically like every game on the board. We're gonna have 15 games in which we got to make decisions. I can guarantee you, we don't like the Bucs and the Falcons right now.
Yeah, we're going to talk about it a bunch this week. This is a week where there's going to be a lot of home dogs, and the public's going to be coming in heavy on the road favorites. So it was a couple weeks ago I gave it out. I went 5-0, taking home dogs against the spread. Obviously, we're not going to have those returns again. That's an insane pace. But the Falcons fit that description. People are like you and me, Chad. They're burned out on Matt Ryan. Every time you come in and bet on the Falcons, it feels like they lose for you. And this number's jumped from opening at 4 to 6. So that means sharp money's coming on the Bucs. So it's a little scary. But I have to take a home dog here at Atlanta +6 and just hope it keeps going up, because anything above 6 is even better, because I had this game at 3.5. So the fact that it's already at 6, I think it's a good number with the Falcons.
Clearly, you've lost your sense of taste because this game is disgusting.
All right, we can pass.
Texans, 7.5-point dogs on the road at Indy. I mean, the number makes sense. The Texans really, like, it's over for them. And the Bears were sort of a last stand. Not that they were going to make playoffs, but at least to show up in the draft bowl between Watson and Trubisky. But they don't have anyone left. They don't have any weapons. Like Deshaun Watson, I feel bad for the guy. He's off on an island by himself.
Yeah. This is going to be a super chalk pick, but we have to take the Colts. Texans have lost their starting safety, who was the stud, their starting cornerback, who was their number one, and they lost their number one wide receiver. There's just that team already didn't have much on it, and now it's lost its key positions. We're happy to fade them here, but 7.5, that scares me off. But if it's at 7 in the contest, I don't hate taking it. But 7.5, that's a little juicy for me.
It's very juicy, too juicy fruit. This next game, the Seahawks are 5.5-point road favorites, according to DraftKings, against the Washington football team. We know Alex Smith is a professional football quarterback. We don't know if he's playing because of what happened last week and Haskins finishing the game. But this guy, we're talking about waves. We're talking about riding waves. The Niners have crested. The football team, to me, has not. And you're still getting value on them, especially if it's going to be Alex Smith at +5.5, +6, with Chase Young playing the way that he's playing. And, like, that front four is fearsome. Love this team. Love this number. Give me the football team for my lungs. I would put the football team in the contest if this was the game we needed to win for $1 million.
Woo.
If Alex Smith is playing.
Right. That's the main key. If it's Haskins, we're 100% on the other side. We would take the Seahawks, but Alex Smith, we've seen it time and time again. He can just move the ball. He can get it to his weapons. So right there with you. Seahawks, we know they just had that big win against the Jets. That's the Jets. Every other team the Seahawks play, they play close. They play down to level of the competition. And the fact that Washington, like you just said, we don't know if they've peaked yet. This could be it. This could be when they fall off the map. But they're favored for the division right now. So obviously Vegas believes in them too. So I don't hate this play with Washington. As long as Alex Smith, and we're going to come back and check on this on Sunday, I like this play a lot too.
How cool is Ron Rivera, by the way, that he figured out early in the year the division was crap, that his defense was going to be good, that he was going to have a shot if he played the right quarterback. And he made a very early switch to go from Dwayne Haskins to Kyle Allen. And who knows what would be happening if Kyle Allen hadn't been injured. But the point was, like, he saw an opportunity to win right away and went for it. I love that about that guy.
And I'm a believer in the fact that these coaches, they see these guys all day, every day in practice and everything like that. And we all know. We watch Herbert or any player like that. We can see if a guy has special tools and if he's got it or not. And We've yet to see anything from Haskins that this kid has it. So right there with you. Great call by him because I would not have believed in Alex Smith. Like the fact that he just has one fully functioning leg, it terrifies me. But he is what you say, professional quarterback. He can do all the right little things to help you win games. So Alex Smith, man, winning the NFC East, pretty insane story of 2020.
One fully functioning leg, but a completely fully functioning heart.
Yeah. He's the Tin Man?
No, I mean, like, he plays with heart. That's what I'm saying. He's a gamer.
So did Tim Tebow. That didn't work out for Tim Tebow, did it?
Fully functioning heart, fully functioning professional quarterback capabilities. Speaking of fully functioning quarterbacks, the Patriots are visiting the Dolphins, and they're 2-point underdogs in Miami. How the tables have turned. The student becomes the teacher. Brian Flores is turning this Dolphins team around. Former coach on Bill Belichick's staff. You know how much I love the Dolphins. Situation. Dolphins. Great defense. Great coach. Consistently showing up. Playing hard to the final whistle. Less than a field goal favorite. At home. Against a team that cannot move the ball. If you say take the Patriots. Go ahead, say what you're going to say.
Take the under. Yeah. I do love the Patriots. But now I'm like in flashes where I can just see us on Sunday and you being like, I'm going to dance in your grave if the Miami cover this 2.5. So it's scaring me a little. Now, the more we look at it and talk about it, I'm not loving it as much, even though I did already bet it heavily, unfortunately.
Did you really?
Yeah, the fact that it opened at 3, I was just like, oh, man, this is such a trap game. But the bets are coming in on New England, so it's not that much of it feels like not that much of a trap game. If like the public might be a little wise to this one, seeing this fishy number. So I don't hate your prospects of the Dolphins 2.5. Like that's a good number, but we're both on opposite sides. We can just stay away from it.